Hi wrestling fans, thanks for clicking on the Dreaded D-Rose report. Nexus versus Sheamus, Edge, Chris Jericho, Randy Orton is being advertised for the next Raw event live in Ontario, September 11th. Last night's episode of, it was last night, an episode of WWE Raw scored a 3.3 cable rating with about 4,800,000 viewers with the hours of 3.13 and 3.51. Which they're kind of stuck in that rut at 3.5, like TNA is, or with the 1.0. They're just kind of reached their peak. Now WWE used to be able to hit a 4.0, not too long ago either. There's still no guarantee that Undertaker is going to be ready to return for the SummerSlam pay-per-view, despite being planned for a while. The next set of WWE SmackDown tapings after tonight should determine whether he's going to be back in time or not, because they're going to have to start pushing it to get us to save our money up to buy the pay-per-view. And since he was in a vegetative state, do you think if he gets cured and comes out of it, he hopefully won't be a fruit? Chris Jericho wrote the following on his Twitter this past weekend about his new WWE DVD coming out. Just look over the final match listings for my DVD. Said, you guys are going to love it. It spans my entire career, believe me. WWE is going to be returning to Madison Square Garden in New York City on September 25th with the SmackDown brand. If you're there, save up for that too. As of yesterday, Hall of Famer Rickety Dragon Steamboat still hospitalized down in Tampa. They are hoping that he's going to be able to go home in the next week, maybe a week and a half or so. And Shane McMahon has invested money in the International Sports Management. It's a management firm in the UK that deals with pro athletes, mainly cricket and golf stars. Shane and 3 other investors have joined together for a multi-million pound investment. This is going to be Shane's first project since leaving WWE. Kane's going to be appearing at Saturday's Market in Middletown, Pennsylvania, Saturday, August 28th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Wouldn't you hate to go to some dark place and try and get an autograph from him and just see him in the dark? God, it'd be creepy. Jim Ross posted the following on the follow-up to his comments about being removed from the Raw intro last night. Said, don't worry about being edited out of the WWE Signature Open. He says, I'm proud of my work, and it was time to update the opening. Let's face it, times has changed. And I never noticed it until I read this, and I went back, because I had a tape. They took out Ross's every remark that he did at the opening. I don't know if you noticed it, but it's very noticeable once you get your ear trained to it, that Ross's voice is completely gone. They try to make you just forget that some people aren't with, that's never been at WWE. That's kind of cold, I think. But anyway, Maryse wrote the following on her Twitter last week. For all of those of you asking constantly about Playboy, no, I didn't shoot recently and haven't signed any deals with them. Playboy owns their copyrights. And they own all of the photos I did with them, so they can use them for the next 100 years if they want. And in any form that they want. I never worked for Playboy Cyber Club. They are part of Playboy, though. That's why they're releasing them right now and other photos. So I already seen one of them. Okay. WWE is currently working on the Best of the High Flyers DVD, set to be released October 12th. Hogan, Nasty Boys, Jimmy Hart, Beefcake, not Briefcase, but Beefcake, and Great Valentine and Honky Tonk Man is going to be appearing at the Boulevard 500 Hot Rod and Bike Show in British Columbia, July 18th. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. TNA is going to be taping next week's Impact tonight in Orlando, and it should be interesting considering what happened at the last night's taping. It's noted earlier that Dixie held a. Now this is kind of strange. This was kind of a shot in the dark here. Dixie had had held a talent meeting the night, well, last night, I guess, at the Impact taping. She told all the wrestlers to tighten up on their in-ring work. Dixie mentioned how the company is spending more money on editing mistakes at the Impact tapings. They're editing mistakes, and they're tired of having to edit so much, so many. Ooh, that's a cold shot. Dixie's comments, caught a lot of the people off guard. Everybody was going to, expected Dixie to talk about upcoming changes and maybe the Paul Heyman rumors, but she jumped their ass. Told them to straighten up, get it right. And there's talk of featuring Ricky Steamboat's son, Richie, on the third season of NXT, if they decide to do the third season. Richie recently returned from an injury, and he's down in FCW. And after last night's Raw, the match began with Randy Orton versus Edge and Sheamus. Cena came down after being fixed backstage by trainers from a cut on Raw and teamed with Orton to win the match. A woman jumped the fan barrier after the match to go after Cena, but she was taken away by security. I had something to say, but I better not. WWE will take tonight's NXT for this weekend's SmackDown at Freedom Hall, Louisville, Kentucky tonight. And appearance by Nexus is confirmed for tonight's, and they said Nexus was only going to be on Raw, but they keep going. They don't know. For what it's worth, an updated flyer released the other day for tonight's show advertised Nexus on SmackDown with the line, Nexus invades SmackDown. This could be just to generate some teasers for Nexus to appear at the taping, but advertised locally, it's Rey Mysterio versus Jack Swagger in a steel cage match. The theme song for TNA's Hard Justice pay-per-view is Riot Maker by the rapper Tech-9. Some of TNA believe that Eric Bischoff missed the Victory Road pay-per-view to make a point to Dixie Carter regarding possibly bringing in Paul Heyman. Ooh, wow. Bischoff said publicly last night that he was taking some time off in advance, but also believes that Hulk Hogan is using his back surgery as an excuse to distance himself from TNA for when and if Heyman comes in. Save face. Alright. Neither Hogan and Bischoff were at last night's Impact taping. Very possible that they aren't contracted to TNA, past the end of this year. You never know. Never did hear how long the contracts were. July 8th episode of WWE Superstars did a 0.64 with about 715,000. Replay did 146,000. WWE Diva Melina, where is she? Has been working out at the WWE Developmental down in Florida and is expected to be back on Raw soon. Another injured Diva, Beth Phoenix, is still about 2 months away from making her return to SmackDown. July 8th episode of TNA Impact scored a 1.14 rating, about a million and a half viewers, and that's got up a little. TNA turned away about 100 fans from last night's Victory Road, rather Sunday night's pay-per-view Victory Road at the Impact taping, at the Impact Zone, that is. One of the reasons that Tomko hasn't been used lately is because he's suffering from some kind of an ankle injury, and it's probably from holding up so much weight. Probably what it is. Alright, word on Hogan missing last night's pay-per-view, still supposedly recovering from his surgery. Oh, I got about a minute. Dixie Carter held a talent meeting this afternoon at the Impact Zone. Dixie stressed that the wrestlers need to tighten up their work, which I was telling you, and noted that the wrestlers aren't essentially spoiling because they work a tape show. Thus, it can be edited. So they're assuming, if they do mess up, they ain't going to worry about it. Dixie edited it out. And Dixie talked about the explosion of success and raved about the Victory Road. One source said that the wrestlers were upset with Dixie's comments. Raw from Lexington, Kentucky to Rupp Center was sold out, by the way. And let me see, dark match was saw the NXT rookies go after Carville. And he defeated Alex Riley, and I'm about out of time. So, hey, thanks for clicking. I gotta go.